What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on what Tesla is going through and if Lucid is going to follow suit. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. First, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciated. With that, let's get right to it. So when it comes down to Tesla, there's been a lot of signs of cracking within its kind of fundamentals and its operations. So once again, take those cracks, whether they are as a result of broader economic concerns, because I think over the last 2 months, give or take, there's been a lot of institutions coming out saying that the upcoming quarterly earnings are going to be very much negative, as a little bit more of a delayed domino effect because of the feds. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but definitely you can tell that there is some signs of cracking, more specifically with the recent news. So as you can see, Tesla is implementing a hiring freeze and a new round of layoffs. And I do believe that Tesla did in fact already have another round of layoffs. I think it was in May or June, don't quote me on that, but I know it was in 2022. But once again, this might not necessarily be so bad because this is just more so a company forecasting some potential issues and trying to avoid that. And one very big expense is staffing and payroll. So the fact that they are trying to mitigate that is a very positive sign. But if you do couple that with this news, so Tesla is doubling year-end discount to $7,500. So that in reality, there's a lot of people out there saying that that is amazing news and it's going to help Tesla so much. For those of us that are very realistic, definitely see that as an issue because companies, no matter what sector they are in, nobody provides a discount unless there is a demand problem or demand issue. Same supply and demand model. It's just the basic fundamentals. So once again, there's a lot of people out there trying to justify this as a positive, but in reality, it is a very big negative. And so once again, this can be broken into multiple different aspects or kind of reasonings. And I'm going to talk on what this does ultimately mean for Lucid in the bigger picture. But this could be also broken, like I said, into multiple different subjects. One of which is just plainly there's a fundamental crack in the demand. And so there's that aspect. Over and above that, analysts and institutions are a little bit more of a systemic problem because they always have such high expectations on companies. So companies have to push the extreme all the time to reach the estimates from analysts, if you want to consider it that way. So once again, Tesla might potentially be trying to push so hard to get the last numbers in for 2022 and also for Q4 that they are coming off as a little bit more desperate and having to do this to meet those demands. So whether it be a analyst issue or broader economic issue or possibly just a Tesla issue, there is an issue out there. And when it comes down to Tesla in more specific, it's been out there for a while. So this is a Q2 transcript. So ever since Q2, analysts have been saying, what are you doing? And during the Q2 earnings call, a lot of analysts all said the exact same thing. So ultimately, Lucid, are you going to be laying people off? What are you trying to do? Luckily enough, Lucid did answer that very well. I know they're not necessarily the best at answering questions, but they did actually stick to their guns about this, saying that Lucid is doing everything in-house, trying to mitigate a lot of the risk, as what they typically do say, but they did kind of validate that they are not going to be doing any layoffs. So once again, if you strip away all of the BS, that does show that Lucid is still, despite the economic conditions, in a expansion stage. Keep in mind though, there's a lot of individuals that can't really distinguish between the two. So the fact that we're at $6.89, people cannot seem to fathom the fact that operations might still be running as par. Technically, they might live in a bubble. Nobody will know what the price is. If it goes to $50, I'm sure they'd be doing the exact same thing as they are now. My own opinion, of course. Like I already said, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. So when it comes down to Lucid not having any layoffs, that is always a pretty positive sign. Keep in mind though, this is aside from them laying off all the VPs, but that was a little bit more of a situation due to performance, not necessarily because of concerns of the broader market. But Lucid did follow suit as far as discounts. As you can see right here, they're offering $18,000 in actual discounts to employees. I see that actually as a very positive thing because it does help retain employees. but still does show a little bit more of a broader issue about the 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 touring, as I've mentioned in many videos. And I think ultimately the one way to shut me up is the Q4 earnings, and hopefully Peter and Sherry will be able to justify why there's so many 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 tourings out there, and also why there is now all of a sudden this, so ready to deliver. Once again, similar to this, there is a lot of individuals trying to justify this as a positive thing, saying that a lot of other companies do that and blah blah blah. But a lot of other companies don't technically sell $154,000 vehicles and expect people just to pop by and wake up, say, hey, I want to buy a $154,000 vehicle. That doesn't happen. Maybe for a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 car, yeah, that might technically happen. But for this price point, it doesn't. So once again, I think there is some unrealistic expectations coming from investors, both on Tesla and also for Lucid. So once again, let me know your thoughts on this. Right now, I personally feel, like I already mentioned, I think Lucid is in a little bit more of an expansion stage. We are in our first year of operation. We are trying to ramp up. Whereas Tesla, on their end, I think technically they have demand issues. So there's a little bit more of a difference in both of them. So Lucid is just having a wrong product. So this is the 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 touring, unfortunately. Some of you might disagree with that, and that is completely fine. But when it comes down to Tesla, I think they're just not meeting their quotas. So might be a little bit more of an analyst or possibly a broader economic situation in that front. So I think right now Lucid, for the most part, is kind of separating itself from Tesla as far as having the same issues as Tesla. But I think ultimately the one way to find out is the upcoming Q4 earnings. So I've already stressed in previous videos on how important the Q4 earnings is. And that even in and among itself is a massive understatement. So I think the upcoming earnings is going to be a very, very big deal, because they're going to be talking on, for instance, their actual estimates for 2023, because they failed to give that. They said they're going to be doing it in Q4. So they're going to let us know exactly how many vehicles they plan on delivering. My estimate is going to be around the 30,000 point. Previously, based on the 2021 projection, it was 49. So I personally feel realistically it's going to be 30. Of course, I could be wrong in that front, but there was actually a pretty cool video that was posted on Twitter as well. I just want to show you. It does show a lot of 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 tourings. So once again, to validate a little bit more of a issue in regards to that. So it might potentially all be for Saudi Arabia, or potentially as well for Europe. I don't know at this stage in the game, and as I always say, Lucid isn't the most transparent, so a lot of these, we don't know what they're for. Are they just sitting around there, or are they estimating to be sold based on this website? They're ready to deliver. There's a lot of different inconsistencies right now, but I do personally feel that given the circumstances, Lucid isn't necessarily following in Tesla's path. They have separate issues as of right now. So there's a lot of individuals saying that Tesla is going to go down to 100 and potentially even file bankruptcy. I think there's a lot of dreamers and wishers out there, but at the end of the day, you have to think longer term. This right now, what we are in, is a official massive bear market. And the next steps are going to be on the actual company to kind of get it out. So Lucid is going to have to dig itself out of this situation that is caused most likely because of two different things, the economic standpoint and also their own wrongdoings potentially. But they do have to dig themselves out, so they have to really have a home run earnings on the Q4. So once again, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.